How can Batman ever hope to defeat the Scarecrow and the Magistrate when he can't even control his own fractured mind? Well, let's hop into the pages of Batman number 113 and find out what happens next together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the book, it seems that Gotham is still feeling the negative effects of the fake Oracle who's been spreading misinformation about the Magistrate and the Scarecrow, respectively. People are on edge, scared about the end times, and arming themselves for the absolute worst. Needless to say, this is becoming one hell of a powder keg that Batman alone may not be able to untangle. Another interesting thing about the fake Oracle, despite everyone jumping to the conclusion that they must be the work of the Magistrate, what they're saying isn't particularly Magistrate positive all the time. I wonder. The police are also being swamped with calls from concerned citizens. Most of it is just paranoid ramblings, and some of it is actually set up for the next big Gotham story, Task Force Z. Yes, those zombies people are claiming to see rise from the Potter's Field around Arkham. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the Scarecrow or the Magistrate. That's a story for another day. Batman figures now is as good a time as any to try and make contact with the new police commissioner, Renee Montoya, though admittedly her title has been diminished a lot recently by Nakano. Batman tries to get Montoya up to speed on everything that's been going down, how Simon Saint was the one behind the Gotham City bombings, how it's all part of a bigger ploy to try and enact his Magistrate program, and how Nakano has been swirled pretty much every step of the way. Obviously, we as the reader know this is the gospel truth, but with so many lies and misinformation floating around right now, Renee Montoya doesn't actually know what to believe. She says that she's willing to give Batman the benefit of the doubt and back him so long as he can actually get her some evidence she can use. Starting with an actual statement from someone within the Unsanity Collective and ending with the capture of Sean Mahoney, Peacekeeper 1. All of this is going to be much easier said than done, especially as Batman is still feeling the residual effects of whatever it is Scarecrow did to him. His mind is not his own anymore and he needs to fix that. Luckily, Bruce is the kind of guy who has a plan for everything, including a psychic VR helmet that he hopes will allow someone to go inside his own brain, hack it, and get him back to his normal self. The helmet is sadly untested and could very well destroy the moral center of a person's brain. Luckily, Batman got back in touch with his old training buddy Ghostmaker, a person who's already a high-functioning sociopath, so is really the perfect candidate to take this for a spin. You know, in a recent interview, James Tynion said one of the big reasons he created so many new characters for his Batman run was because DC kept giving him so many mandates for pre-existing characters that he felt his hands were being tied creatively. I bring this up because the middle half of this book really is the Ghostmaker show starring everyone else. Together, Batman and Ghostmaker are able to make like Inception and go deeper and deeper within his subconscious mind and find a series of messages that Crane left behind for them to find. Ghostmaker slashes his way through Scarecrow versions of Bruce before eventually freeing his subconscious mind, saying that the worst is over and that Scarecrow's plan for the city to make it stronger through a use of fear probably wouldn't work on Batman anyway because, well, he's gone through his own fear state, don't you know? Oh, but wait, we're not done in the mindscape just yet because Ghostmaker actually has a secret to reveal to Bruce. You see, after they had their big friend falling out many years ago during their time training all over the world, Ghostmaker had actually come to Gotham to try and better understand Batman's own fears and traumas, what drives him, and what at the end of the day might make him a better hero than himself. And helping him along this journey just so happened to be a young Jonathan Crane, fresh out of completing his fear state thesis. We once again hear Crane go on his little spiel about how fear is the strongest motivating emotional factor in human development, that cavemen learned to see other types of green so that they could see deadly snakes coming, and that the world can only continue to evolve and change and grow stronger with the proper applications of fear. But that you would need a massive, deadly, inciting incident like a terrorist attack, a media who is willing to fan the flames of terror, and finally a totem to wrap it all around, a scarecrow, if you will, that needs to be defeated and overcome for the fear state to be complete. At first, Batman rightly thinks that he was meant to be the Scarecrow in this theory. After all, Crane went out of his way to affect his mind personally, but wait, Batman wasn't the only one who had his brain tinkered with, so was Sean Mahoney, Peacekeeper 1. Now he's out there somewhere in the city killing people and becoming a lightning rod for all this fear and chaos. But if Batman wants to get to him, he better hurry because Peacekeeper X and the rest of the Magistrate are already hot on Mahoney's tail as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Batman number 113, everybody, and 3 issues in a row now I have to keep asking asking this question. Is the Fear State story ever actually going to get started? I feel like characters are just sitting around reiterating information that we already know. Also, the idea behind the Fear State and how it relates to Batman and everything isn't particularly complex or layered. I don't think we needed to hear it explained multiple different times. I get the sneaking suspicion that maybe this story was actually meant to be shorter, but was ultimately stretched out when Tynion realized that this was going to be his last Batman story before he left. Or at the very least, this was never meant to be an event, but DC wanted to get one more big Batman event out of him before the guy left for Substack. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. Batman fights the crime, Ghostmaker is interesting enough, a sidekick for this adventure who ultimately ends up becoming the main hero in parts. It's just none of it really grabbed me like I wanted it to. Ultimately, I'd give this one a 6.5 out of 10. It's fine, but again, wake me when this story actually gets started, pretty please.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cave Joel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink, wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time, everyone, I've been Cave Joel, and I will see you